In this lesson, we are going to look at the expense settings that are under the account and settings within QuickBooks Online. So let's go ahead and start that. Again, we are on the main page under Get Things Done in QuickBooks Online, and we're going to go up to the right-hand side, click on the icon for your account settings wheel, and you're going to click under your company and go into account settings. Now this is the familiar page that we have been working on the last few lessons, where we have all of our sections here on the left. In this lesson, we are going to go into the expense section of the account and settings. Not much here, but we're going to go ahead and go through all of these. First, under the bills and expenses, we want to go ahead and click the edit button there, the little pencil on the right hand side, and we're going to go through all of these. First one is the show items table on expense and purchase forms. We want to make sure this is toggled on if we're using the product and services portion of QuickBooks Online, because then they will show up in your expense transactions or your billing module. If you're not using that, then go ahead and you can toggle that off. Next line down is our tag field. And again, if you're using tags, make sure that's toggled on. If you're not using tags, go ahead and toggle that off. No need to have that on. Our next line is the track expenses and items by customer. This is great, especially if you want to track expenses for your customers. If you have specific expense line items that are tagged to a certain customer, then you're going to want to have that toggled on. If you don't care about tracking your expenses by customer, then you can go ahead and turn that off. Next line features the making expenses and items billable. There's three things here within it. First one is whether or not you have a markup. You can always do an automatic markup. This is great, especially in, say, the trades industry, where there may be a markup that they pass on to their customer. You can click that on there, put your percentage of markup, and it will automatically show up in your expenses there. If you have certain expenses that are billable, then you can always track those within QuickBooks here and pass that on to your customer. So if you have an expense that you bought and you're going to pass it on, then what this does is it sets up an income account. There's a billable income account, a general one that is set up when you click on that. If you're wanting to track, say, multiple accounts, different types of billable incomes, then you'll want to click on the multiple accounts, because you'll have them set up and then you can choose which one there. And then charge sales tax is whether or not you charge sales tax for your billable items or expenses. And as far as the bill payment terms, if you're set up as a net 10, 15, due on receipt, you can always set those up here so that that always defaults in your billing section of QuickBooks Online, that it is always due 10 days from when you create that. If you're using purchase orders, you can toggle this on. Again, you can create custom fields within your purchase orders. You can do the transaction numbers where you can customize them. You can always turn that on. If not, it'll be a sequential from QuickBooks. And if you want a default message in your purchase order, that's where you would put it in right there. And then the last portion is the email settings for your letter that goes out. And just like the previous one in sales, same feature, you can go through, put it how you want. and you can set up a standard message, or you can do a custom one based on what you want for your company. These are for your purchase orders. You can always email a copy to yourself. You can copy somebody else or blind copy, anything that you want there. So that is the expense section for account and settings, and very simple. And we'll move on to the next section.
I gotcha.